Mr. Speaker, I rise today to share with this honorable House encouraging news that highlights the strength of Bermuda's economy and the confidence that global investors continue to place in our island. Mr. Speaker, two globally respected rating agencies, S&P Global and Morningstar DBRS, have completed their latest assessments of Bermuda's creditworthiness. These are independent institutions with no local political interests whose work is based entirely on data, policy analysis, and economic fundamentals. On May 13th, S&P reaffirmed Bermuda's long-term sovereign credit rating at A+ and its short-term rating at A1, with a stable outlook. Just yesterday, Morningstar went one step further, upgrading Bermuda's long-term issuer ratings to A high and upgrading our short-term ratings to R1 middle. All outlooks were confirmed as stable. Mr. Speaker, this upgrade is a direct result of Bermuda's economic recovery, sound fiscal policy, and credible institutions. S&P stated, and I quote, "The stable outlook reflects our expectation that the local economy will remain healthy and support solid government finances and low debt, as well as Bermuda's external asset position," end quote. While Morningstar stated, and I quote, "The upgrade reflects Morningstar DBRS's view that Bermuda's robust growth outlook and steady improvement in public finances have strengthened its credit quality," end quote. Morningstar further noted that Bermuda recorded economic growth of 4.9% in 2023, with growth between 4.5 and 5% projected for 2024, surpassing previous estimates. They cited the performance of international business and the steady rebound in tourism as key contributors to this growth. Mr. Speaker, the agencies also highlighted Bermuda's improving fiscal position. Morningstar reported that our deficit averaged just 0.4% of GDP over the past 4 years, and the government has achieved its first balanced budget in more than 2 decades. These are not our words, Mr. Speaker. They are the findings of unbiased, independent analysts. Morningstar stated plainly, and I quote again, "Bermuda's track record of prudent fiscal policy is a key credit strength," end quote. Morningstar also pointed to our declining debt ratio, which has fallen from 46% of GDP in 2020 at the height of the pandemic to 35% in 2024, and is projected to continue falling in the years ahead. On this topic, Mr. Speaker, Morningstar stated, and I quote, "The government debt ratio is projected to decline over the next several years, even before accounting for the effects of the new corporate income tax," end quote. This is further evidence that the improvement in Bermuda's public finances is the result of sustained fiscal discipline and economic momentum, not dependent on future revenues. The report went on to note that, quote, "Debt dynamics are expected to remain favorable even without additional revenue from the new tax, underscoring the credibility of Bermuda's current fiscal trajectory." Mr. Speaker, this honorable House will recall that in this year's budget, this government confirmed a $19.7 million surplus for fiscal year 2024-25, the first consolidated fund surplus since 2003. For fiscal year 2025-26, we are predicting a surplus of $43.3 million. This progress is a result of fiscal discipline, effective policy, and sustained economic momentum, which is being recognized internationally with this sovereign rating upgrade. The agencies also referred to the strength of Bermuda's institutions. S&P noted that, and I quote, "Bermuda benefits from an effective policy making," I will start again. And I quote, Mr. Speaker, "Bermuda benefits from effective policy making in institutions, a stable political environment, and a strong legal system," end quote. Mr. Speaker, though sovereign ratings may not mean much to the everyday Bermudian, these ratings carry significant weight. They help determine our cost of borrowing, influence investor perceptions, and reflect the judgment of professional analysts who examine economies around the world. For Bermuda to maintain an A+ rating from S&P and to receive an upgrade to A high from Morningstar is a clear signal to the global community that this government is managing Bermuda's fiscal affairs responsibly. Mr. Speaker, while both agencies noted longer-term challenges such as economic concentration and demographic pressures, they also acknowledged the government's commitment to addressing these through prudent reforms. These include continued economic diversification, as outlined in Bermuda's Economic Development Strategy, healthcare transformation as we move to universal healthcare, and the building of fiscal buffers through sustained surpluses and planned debt reduction. These efforts are aligned with the direction set out in the 2025-26 budget. As I stated in this Honorable House last month, Bermuda has recorded 4 consecutive years of strong GDP growth, achieved the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, witnessed record levels of Bermudians working international business, and returned to a balanced budget for the first time in more than 2 decades. Mr. Speaker, we also continue to invest in infrastructure, affordable housing, and healthcare, with capital expenditure at its highest level since 2010. We have reduced payroll tax for 86% of workers, cut energy taxes by 80%, and delivered tax relief across the economy, all while delivering a budget surplus. That is responsible, progressive Labor Party governance in action. Mr. Speaker, as I close, I want to thank the public officers, policy advisors, and all those across government and industry who contributed to this successful outcome. The rating upgrade from Morningstar DBRS and the rating affirmation from S&P Global are testaments to our collective hard work and represent an independent vote of confidence in Bermuda's economy. The global economic environment remains uncertain. However, the findings from these independent rating agencies are a timely reminder that Bermuda remains well-positioned both economically and institutionally to navigate global headwinds that may arise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.